All right, someone just asked 10 questions about Action PC Baseball, and so I figured since I played, and since he specifically mentions me by name, that I would do my best to answer them. And so, just some questions. If you've never played Action PC Baseball, I think they're good questions. This is from someone in our Digital Dice podcast Facebook group. The heck is it? Facebook.com /group/digital to dice. And so he's comes over from Replay. He's talked to me a couple times, and so Tad, this one's for you. You keep America working. This one's for you. Okay, I play hardcore as played, and I'm being drawn towards Action PC Baseball after thinking no game could be more accurate than Replay. Darn you, Uncle Ron! Moi? So I have 10 assumptions and questions after watching countless videos. First of all, you shouldn't watch so much Uncle Ron. It's not very healthy. Here are some of them, and please ask more, and we'll do more of those. And if you guys have more questions, then I'll answer them. I assume every player is carded. Yes. Correct assumption. Carded not being the right word. Every player is there, whether they've gotten 5 at-bats, certainly if they've started a game. So if you got 5 at-bats, you get a card. If you have 6,000 at-bats, you get a card. Even guys like 1954 Sibby Sisti. Did you know he was actually in the movie The Natural? He was the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. With 9 pinch running appearances and no at-bats. Yep, everybody who played on the team, I believe, is there. I could double check that. But pretty much, yes, you could do that, and he'll have a pinch running rating, because they get a score rating, and if they stole a base, they can get a steal rating too. It looks like players that were with more than one team get separate quote-unquote cards. Yes, I believe so. I believe that there's no trading of the cards. Every player, if they've moved or if they were injured or whatever, has dates. So let's say Lou Brock, for instance, he would be available to the Cubs from January 1st to whatever date he was traded to the Cardinals for Ernie Broglio. And then his Cardinals full file would start with that day and run through December 31st and vice versa. It's not like Strat where you only get another card if you're switching leagues. It's just too easy to do. The splits are already there. Number 3, if you try to sacrifice with a terrible bunter, is he likely to foul it off, pop it up, or bunt into a forced play? Or are all 3 possible? Well, players are rated for bunts and hit and runs on a 0 to 10 basis. 0 being my ability to bunt, and 10 being your favorite dead ball players. And so you can, even a 10 bunter can foul it off, and you get a no-2 count, and then you can figure out what you want to do. But yes, I've had games where terrible bunters will pop it up and bunt into a forced play. And the bunt rating will change depending on the situation. So someone like a pitcher who's in a sacrifice situation might get a boost for a bunt rating, and in a regular situation isn't going to get much of a bunt rating at all. That stuff is all on the screen. So yes, pop-up, I think I've even had pop-up double plays. So yes, so the worse the bunt rating, the more chance of calamity you're going to get. Number 4, if you fail on a hit and run, is the result a foul ball or a swing and a miss? It is most definitely a swing and a miss. And so, again, hit and run rating is 0 through 10. 10 does not mean perfect all the time. 0 means you never know. It could be that, but it's not a foul off. Foul balls are, I think, just kind of window dressing within the game. They're really not consequential. The game figures out a pitch count and kind of goes from there. That's how pitcher fatigue is there. But trust me, if you've watched some of my stuff and I'll hit and run, even with a 9 or a 10 hit and run, it's possible to swing and miss. And that runner on first or trying to steal better have some legs, because you can't get thrown out doing it. In fact, I don't know if I've had to strike him out, throw him out, but probably close. Number 5, when you make a defensive substitution, how do you know the new guy made the play that the replaced player, should have read these over first, wouldn't have had? You don't necessarily. Players are rated a couple different ways. Outfielder players are rated on a range, 0 to 10, 0 being me, and 10 being Gary Pettis out there in center field. their ability to get to balls. Fielding percentage is pretty much what you think it is. Butch Hobson isn't going to make a play. Brooks Robinson's going to be a human vacuum cleaner. And catchers and outfielders have arm ratings. Again, the stronger the arm, the better off you're going to be. So you really don't want to run on a Dwight Evans or Roberto Clemente. They're going to be 10 arms. Okay? A one arm, the Robin Noodle arm, if you watch my stuff like a Johnny Damon, run. You're going to take your chances, but there. So no, there's no Roberto Clemente made this play that Ron Juckett couldn't have had. It's all in your imagination. There are things called web gems, good plays, and poor plays. Okay? Poor plays are balls that you should have gotten to. Doesn't mean that the person you replace would have gotten to that ball, but, you know, a ground ball to third, and you dive along the line, and you can't get there. Or you get a late jump on the ball. You'll see it pop up in my games. You'll see the poor play pop up, and then I'll have to come up with, and Juckett got a late jump on that and couldn't get to it. Great plays are your Robin hits. And average being 5, you're going to get to the average amount of balls. Web gems are you're definitely robbing hits, and those happen. Think of Bobby Richardson in Game 7 of the '62 World Series. That was an absolute web gem, or the Giants would have won that. So the higher the rating, the more proportion you're going to be for making those great plays or web gems. But a 10 player can make a poor play. It doesn't mean he's perfect, but there is some sort of algorithm in how that works. Hopefully I answered that. But there's no, if you take a 7 fielder out and put a 9 fielder in, again, that's a range. So also look out for their fielding percentage too. So there really isn't one. I'm not sure that there is in replay, but you can kind of figure that out. Number 6, are pitchers rated for pickoffs? I don't know off the top of my head. Or are they random? I don't have the baseball game open on the screen. So I'm going to open this up. You're not going to be able to see it. Obviously, lefties are better for that. You can get runners thrown out. You can't see this. I'm just opening it up. Let's see. A pitcher is rated for age, durability, batting ability, base runner, stolen base jump, bunt ability, hit and run, power versus left, power versus right. For pitcher, it's ground ball, or what type of pitcher they are, what their specialty pitch is, how hard they throw the fastball, there is a hold rating. So I'm looking. You can't see because I don't have because I've got another game loaded up in my XSplit. But there is a hold rating 1 through 10, and I'm looking at Ray Scarborough from the Senators, and it's a 5. Then there's a clutch rating. Pitchers are rated for starter, reliever, closer, and those are plus or double plus or minus. Outfield arm, catcher's arm, pass ball rate, and double play pivot. Now, if I click on rosters here, come on. Oh, that's new. Can I edit? I don't think I can edit, as he says. Oh, I can edit statistics. I can't edit ratings. Well, that sucks. Okay. I'm sure that's all in the algorithm of how the game is there. I know that Dave gets his stats, or did get his stats from Stats Inc. So that's all there. Do you have to visit the mound to see if the pitcher is tired? You can. If you watch my videos, I have an outcome box that's in the upper left or above the stats and beneath the picture of the visiting team, whether it's the pitcher or the batter. And you can get a good sense of how someone's going to do by the potential outcomes. Batting average, doubles, triples, homers, walks, and strikeouts. Also, one of the things that the game does tell, there's 2 tells the game gives you. A, how many pitches that a pitcher is supposed to pitch count. And that can be up to 160 if you're looking at someone like J.R. Richard, who threw a lot of walks and strikeouts. A complete game should be about between 110 and 130. So you can do the pitch count that way. You can determine how fast they're pitching their fastball. Once it starts to drop, you know they're starting to get tired. You could also look at the outcome box. If the batting averages start to climb, like if a batter has a 30% better chance of getting on base than what their real life batting average is, that's a good indication there. You can go to the mound and do a mound trip. You get one per inning as you would in real life, and it will tell you pitcher is strong, pitcher's okay, pitcher's tired. Also, at the beginning of an inning, if the pitcher is starting to fatigue, it'll pop up on the screen. Tommy John is okay. Tommy John is still strong, and you're looking, you've only thrown 85 of your 120 pitches. At that point, I start to pay attention to what's going on. But yes, fatigue is a real thing, but it's not like cards and dice. It's not always an exact science. Number 8, is there a way to not have players on the bench that weren't in the game there on that game's date like replay does? I know that it's as played rosters if you want from everything past 41. I don't know how much work Pete does for every given season to do that, but there are start and stop dates for that. And if you're playing as played, I believe most of them are there. There may be one or two mistakes, but I think a lot of that's baked in. You really would have to ask Dave Cook for most of that. But after 41, and probably some seasons now before, it's all as played lineups. And so I've not noticed that I have players that are there. And if they came in as far as trades, all the trades are there. As far as whether it follows the disabled list or not, I'm not sure. But I know that, but I think it follows a lot of it. So you shouldn't be getting Gene Garber with the Braves to start the year. He's with the Phillies in 78. Can you have the computer decide on attempted steals even when you're managing the team? Yes, you can set the computer to do all your base running decisions for you. And 10, can other ballpark and player images be substituted? Yes, game is easily moddable. I have a video on how to do that. I have way too many player pictures and ballpark pictures in that. The thing with a ballpark is, and I probably should do another video on that, is that you have to put the chalkboard pieces together for each ballpark that doesn't automatically come with the game. But that's been made simpler over the years. It's just click and drag the things into place. And so those, I believe, answer your 10 questions. Is it as accurate as replay? I think you would find, I'm going to hedge this because I don't want to say, oh yeah, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, because I know that sliced bread is the greatest thing since sliced bread. For me, the game, despite the closed engine, gives you the randomness that you would want from a game using cards and dice. It gets in that plus or minus 5% variance. It's in the bell curve. I think the game does the bell curve. There are some things that the AI I don't always agree with it. It is quite customizable, and I believe the game is quite deep. And if you have further questions, put them in the comments below, and we'll follow up. And maybe the next time I actually will have the baseball screen from my streaming software, and we can get into that. But there's also the basics of Action PC Baseball that you can look into. And so there you have it. Hope that answers some of your questions, and all the Dave Cook games come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Uncle Ron Jockett. We'll talk to you the next time.